Good morning. How's everyone this morning? It's Friday, August 4th, end of the week, start of the weekend. I hope you're all doing something fun and interesting, restorative, and compelling for the weekend. I think it's always great if you could see some art, maybe get to the beach, do some nature, but also look at some art. And you've looked at it all week with me, which is great, but it would also be great to see it over the weekend. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. How are you? Okay, Stephanie. I'm going to wait for a few more people to arrive and say my good mornings. Good morning, Roberto. And we're going to play a game. Hi, John. How are you? It's nice to see you here this morning. So it's Who's This Artist on Friday. We're going to play a fun game, and I want to see. We played it last Friday, and it was really fun to see everybody's reaction to the artist's early work. Good morning, Jean. Let me say good morning to Tony, Stephanie. Good morning, Raymond. Nice to see you here. So it's always, I always like showing people an artist's early work because we so identify the artist with the work that they became famous for. But good morning, Eunice. Good morning, Roger. How are you? How's Bangkok? It looks fabulous from your Facebook posts. So a lot of us know the artists for whom the work they became famous for. But interestingly enough, we don't always see their early work, and their early work so much has informed their later work. And so I think it's a nice way to take a look at that. Okay, all hail the Queen. My mother just joined. Hello, Mom. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Marianne. Oh, Marianne Walsh, my cousin, joined live today. Hi, Marianne. It's so nice to see you here. Love that you're here. Thank you so much. Okay, so you guys, I have not attributed any of the work. First of all, let's go to, this is Smart Start. Start your morning or continue your day or kind of end the day wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the time zones. Begin it, end it, continue it with a piece of art to refresh yourself, to refocus, to find yourself. It's not about what I say about the work, it's what you say about the work. It's what you bring to the work that makes this experience important, I think necessary, and fun. Okay, and then learning something new. I was talking to John Haber yesterday, who I hope will be on the thread today, and he was thinking that he was concerned that he didn't want it to become, because he knows that I'm so involved in the contemporary art world, and I've launched several artists' careers to great success, and I have a very good eye for art, and I understand that, contemporary art. And so he didn't want this to become too Art History 101. And I told him that he had just joined in this week, in a week in which we looked at perspective and then the foreshadowing in the Renaissance. So yes, there was a lot of art history on the thread. But I think, like any history, you can revisit history. I revisit American history all the time. I revisit every history all the time because there's new scholarship coming up. But I think it's also fun. I think that people who've studied art history enjoy talking about it, and those that didn't really enjoy the insight. So I hope I'm right with that. But you'll tell me if I am. Hi, Franklin. Okay, so let's start. Guess who? Hi, Kim. I want you to guess who, okay? And you win something if you guess it right. I'm both looking at my thread and your comments. Okay, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through one, and then I'm going to read, I'll read something for you. Start guessing. It's okay. You can guess. Saeed, how are you? Good morning. Eunice, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I'm right about that. Okay. Born 1887, the second of 7 children. Grew up in a farm. I'll start giving this away. Studied at the Art Institute of Chicago. under the direction of William Merritt Chase, wonderful artist, learned techniques of traditional realist paintings. And the direction of this artist's practice shifted dramatically in 1912, studying under the revolutionary ideas of Arthur Wellesley Dowd. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dowd and these revolutionary ideas. Okay, I'm going to transition. Guess who? Oh, the man himself has joined, Tom Estes. Sarah. Oh, my husband, Gene Faba, said Sarah. Gene comment. I'm sorry, I have to take off the glasses. Gene commented on the thread. This is major. No, I love you. No, but it was a good try. Okay, so let's talk about, so Tom, guess who? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of, this artist's focus changing after they studied with the revolutionary ideas of Arthur Wellesley Dowd. His ideas were quite revolutionary for the period. He taught that rather than copying nature, art should be created by elements of the composition, like line, mass, and color. He wanted leaders of the public to see art as a living force in everyday life for all. Doesn't that sound like me? I did not realize I got a lot of my ideas from this person as well. Serena Busky, nice to see you here. Good morning, Serena. Serena, if you know the artist, do me a favor, just post the first initial. I don't want to give it away for everybody, okay? He wanted leaders of the public to see art in a living force in everyday art. Serena, I'm reading something about this Arthur Wellesley Dowd, who influenced this artist. Hi, Taro. Let me go back so Serena can see other work. Okay. I'm sorry. Not a sort of traditional ornament for the few. Dowd suggested the lack of interest would improve if the way art was presented would permit self-expression and include personal experience in creating art. That's what I always say. Art is for everybody, not for the select few, and it's important to get that, to see that. So this artist was inspired. Anybody? Come on, start guessing. Jean guessed Sarah, and that was not correct, but that's okay. That's why we guess. Anybody? Oh my goodness, you guys. Come on, you get a t-shirt. I haven't made them yet, but you get it. Yeah. The artist experimented for 2 years while teaching in South Carolina and West Texas, seeking to find a personal visual language through which they could express their feelings and ideas. They began a series of abstract charcoal drawings in 1915 that represented a radical break with tradition and made this artist one of the first American artists to practice pure abstraction. All right, here we go. You're going to get closer to the answer. Oh, you guys are way too quiet today. Tom, come on. Hughes, no. Serena. Actually, now, Serena, you don't even have to guess with an initial. You can actually jump in here guessing, because I see I've stumped everyone. I don't want to stump everyone. Come on. Stephanie. I feel like a teacher calling on kids. Isn't that funny? You know, I used to set up a classroom in our basement in our house, and I'd play school because I wanted to be a teacher. And my sister was 3 years younger, and I would make her sit through all of the lessons that I had during the day. And so by the time she went to school in kindergarten, she already wrote in script. They advanced her, and I taught her everything that I knew, and I guess kind of retaught myself too. Let's see. Welcome to my world. Stephen. Good morning. How are you? Nice to see you here. Okay, Stephen, we are guessing who this artist is. Who did this artist become? I'm going to go through it again, and then I'm going to have to give it to you. I don't like this. Come on, guys. All right, I'll give you a hint, okay? For this Friday. It's a female. American. Art Institute of Chicago. Lived in West Texas. Moved out west. Oh, God, I'm giving it away. Who said it? Dawson? No. Charles Sheeler? No. No, Tom. Not right today. Jacob, good morning. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Serena and Tom got it. O'Keefe. It's O'Keefe. Very good. But it kind of had, I'm sorry. I had to give you guys a lot of hints there, huh? But that's okay. I'm kidding with you. I try to pick the obscure work because what I want to show you is that the journey of an artist is so fascinating. It is so fascinating. And, geez, right? Well, no, I wasn't referring to her as a man, Serena. I used the pronoun they. I used the proper gender fluid pronoun. I now understand gender fluidity. So I said they because I did not want to lead you in one direction or another. What I want to say about this is the journey of an artist is remarkable. And although we know them oftentimes for their later work, it's their earlier work that they're building off of. And there's so many times that an artist's early work, a famous artist's early work, is informing all this other work from other artists that's happening. So this kind of notion that we've been talking about all week of art history as a linear discipline is not correct. And that the artists, yes, they become famous for later works, but it's really important to look at their earlier works. And what happens is you don't see, you see a certain amount of retrospectives in museums. So in a George O'Keeffe retrospective, for example, at the Brooklyn Museum recently, and there was a great show in Toronto that it's all been traveling, you will see some early works and some of her life. But unless there's a retrospective, you don't really get to see it. And so I hope this Smart Start provides an opportunity for that as well, to show you things that you wouldn't necessarily see or to put them in a context that you necessarily wouldn't have. Because I do think it's all about contextualizing. Even with art history, I think it's about contextualizing it because art history changes. It's, dependent upon who's looking, who's doing the new scholarship. I'll tell you a quick story, one of something that I'm extremely proud of, working with the artist Jong Hung Tu, who's become quite famous and very successful. When I started with him, nobody wanted to represent him. No one was interested in his work. We were selling pieces for hundreds of dollars. Now the pieces are selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And one of the first things that I wanted to do, and I thought very important to do, was to get him into the collections of museum. Not everybody wants to be in the Met. Everybody wants to be in the Whitney. But it's the university museums that I found to be so incredibly important. So Princeton, Harvard, Yale, but also like University of Binghamton, SUNY Purchase, all smaller museums, because who's writing the art history books? The art history books are being written by those graduate and PhD students, and they are looking at their museum collections and writing their theses from there. So what happened very quickly with Jong Hung Tu is that immediately I had graduate students sending me papers about his work because they go to the collection at Princeton and they would see his work in the museum. And so they started writing. And so he was brought into the canon of art history, which becomes a very, very, very exciting thing. Oh, yeah, look at that, Tom. Charles Sheeler. I have to take a look at that. That's fantastic. So for me, the kind of doing this and thinking about the context in which we look at the work becomes very important. So let's, and so what happens is more to that point, and I'm going to go back for the people who just joined our thread. We were playing Guess Who, early work from this artist. So I think that to be able to see that early work and to be able to kind of take a look at it, to go back and look at it now with the notion of when O'Keeffe became O'Keeffe. I look at this as her becoming, let me put it this way. I look at this, there's George O'Keeffe. You see it, those barns, the red barns, you see it. That's who she is. But then there's the O'Keeffe that's outside of herself, the third person O'Keeffe, that embodies all of what we bring, all of pop culture, everything that we know. Good morning, Robert. About her. So I speak almost about her, and I hate this word, but I'm going to say it anyway, as a brand. So when I say she's becoming O'Keeffe, becoming our notion of who she is as an artist, but she certainly is who she is here. But she's, finding that later work. And I would say that all artists are on that journey all the time. And so I had named, in my own notes on this, I named it Becoming O'Keeffe. I think this is one of the most amazing images. Let me say good morning to David. Good morning. Let's see. Jacob is weighing in. A lot of people have held out for bigger places instead of thinking smaller and building up. I've held out for bigger. Yeah, no, it's a journey. It's really, oh, thank you, Stephanie. You know what, Jacob? It's a journey. And I don't think if an artist is, and I've had artists who have not wanted to do certain shows or certain exhibits or exhibit with certain other artists. And, for me, that's just all nonsense, because I really feel like it is such a journey, and wherever you are at that moment, you continue to move forward. You exhibit. If no one's exhibiting your work, you exhibit your work. You'll figure it out. You get it out there, get it seen, get it going. So that becomes that journey. And that's what my Asian artists, my Chinese artists did. I mean, when Zhang Hengtu and Ai Weiwei and Zhang Huan, in 1982, there's this manifesto that I have that they wrote, and they said that they would support each other, that there would never be infighting, and that they weren't looking for the big gallery. That wasn't their goal, but to form this community in which they all work together, and even if they have to be outside of the system, they will stay outside of the system in order to just continue to show. And they had some of the greatest shows in some of the most obscure places. I mean, I showed Zhang Hengtu his new work after he finished his Mao series in my apartment, in my salon at the time, and Holland Cotter came. And I had Holland Cotter here, Jonathan Goodman. I'd like to remember his name right now, but the tennis player, bad boy. Oh, McEnroe. I mean, everybody would come to my salon, and it was just amazing. And it wasn't part of an establishment, but we're showing great work and having conversation about it. So that's the journey. It's an exciting journey. So, and here we are. So today you got to see the early work of Miss George O'Keeffe, which I know you all love because we've looked at her work quite a bit. Hi, Dee. Yeah, Ron, you only get there from here. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Mark. I think that's true. I mean, wherever you are at this moment is where you are in your journey. Artist, curator, I continue to build. Everything around me is changing a lot because now I'm being informed by Cheddar, which I know you guys watch Cheddar, and it's doing extremely well, and John Steinberg's a visionary. And now, we have a much larger platform than I've ever had, that, millions of people are looking at Serena Busque's art in the Flatiron. The demographics were always 250,000 a day, but now we're reaching millions worldwide through Cheddar and through John's commitment to having a curated backdrop, which I could not be happier about. But I would not have gotten there or here had I not gone through other steps. This just didn't happen out of nowhere. It happened by a lot of little steps forward. So that's what I have to say about this on Friday. I'm going to be on Cheddar today at 1:50. Had a great trip to the Bronx Museum. A great footage for you from Cheddar. And I have to tell you, it is very exciting going to a museum with me because I talk to everybody and everybody talks to me. And then I get their ideas on the work. They get my ideas and I show them different ways of looking at the art. And if you watch Cheddar today, you're going to see some of the different ways, and a little crazy sometimes, that we look at the art. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Ekaterina. It's so nice to have you here. Good morning, Brenda. Very nice to have you back. Jacob says, I'm definitely the most interesting woman in the world. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jacob, don't think that's true. But now maybe crazy or a little, but thank you, Jacob. That's so sweet of you to say. I love being here with you guys. I really love being here with you guys. And this is informing me in a different way and in a new way as well. So to the point, I'm sorry, who made it? I love that point. To Ron's point, you can only get there from here. Here is also a new information for me. So I hope to see you today at Cheddar at 1:50, Facebook Live. And we're talking about the Bronx Museum because the Bronx Museum is a very special place. It keeps the flavor of the neighborhood and the culture, yet it is expanded. So I want you guys to have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful day. Your journey is very important. Wherever you are on the journey, embrace it, be there, build on it. And I will see you on Cheddar today, and we'll meet back here on Monday morning. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And I just love being here with you. I truly do. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, guys.